Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video, I will show you how to create an iOS plugin to scan QR code or barcode in Godot game engine. So for iOS, I have already made a video about this, but that was using Objective-C, and I'm no longer planning to make any more plugins on Objective-C. So this is using Swift with the SwiftGodot package because this is much more easier to get started and contribute to. So yeah, let's see how to do this. So first you need to open this particular URL. We will be following this particular guide. So first we as usual, to create an iOS plugin you require macOS, and you also require Xcode installed. So I have already installed Xcode, and if you see over here, I have just created an empty folder named Godot. You don't have to do it, it's just that there will be 3 different projects and things might get confusing. That's why I've created a separate parent folder. You can name it whatever you feel like. Again, you don't even need to create it, it's just for my own sake. So just open Xcode, file, new, package. Here select multi-platform, select library, click next, then here I will just go to my Godot folder which I have created, and I am naming my library as my library. You can name it whatever you feel like, but if you are doing this for the very first time, I would recommend you follow what I am doing, because this name will be used in lot other places as well. So I will just click on create. Okay, so this is done. Let's see. Now this is just a cheat sheet which I have created. So in package.swift we have to add this particular dependency. So if you come over here as well, here you can see after products we have to add this particular line of code. So I will just go to this file, I will just add this, and you have to do command S. So it will automatically download this particular SwiftGodot dependency which you can see over here via Swift package manager. So the package dependency is very simple. We don't have to worry too much about it. Then we also need to add this platform iOS version 17. So if you scroll down here, you can see they have given it for macOS. We have to use it for iOS, so you can just paste it over here. Minimum iOS version I have kept it as 17. Then we have to add this type dynamic as well. So again, if you come over here, here you can see inside library they have added this type dynamic. So inside library I will add this the same. Okay, next we have to add this dependency section as well. So again, I'll just copy this and I'll just scroll down. Here you can see we have this dependency section. So inside target name we have to add this dependency section. So inside target name I will just add one comma and I'll paste it over here. Now I will just improve the indentation a little bit. So do command A, control I, and if you want you can just do a command S again just to save it. It is automatically saved any which ways. Okay, then at the time of me recording this video, SwiftGodot does not support Swift version 6. But while creating the plugin, it uses Swift version 6, or it could be higher for you as well. So whenever you are watching this video, do check the SwiftGodot repository whether it supports Swift 6.0 and above, but currently it doesn't. So I will just change this to 5.10. Okay, again coming back over here, then we have to write the actual code in this particular file. So I will cheat a little bit. I already have the code with me, so I'll just copy that code and then I'll explain it to you what exactly I'm doing. So I'll just open this particular file, I'll copy everything and I'll paste it over here. So firstly we are importing UIKit, SwiftGodot, and to scan QR code and barcode we use VisionKit. Then this is boilerplate code which you have to write, but this should be your own library name. Then we have to create a delegate class. So if you scroll down, here is the entry point of our library, but we can't directly create a delegate to this particular class because SwiftGodot throws error. That's why we have to create a separate class for delegate. So I have created a separate scanner delegate, and this is from VisionKit data scanner view controller delegate. Then here I have created few callbacks. One is barcode scan and second one is error. So here I am overriding few methods. from this data scanner view controller delegate. If you want, you can use it. I'm not really using it. I've just kept it for your sake in case if you're interested. But once the value has been scanned, the callback comes over here, and here you can see once the barcode has been decoded, we just get the string value out of it. We stop scanning, we dismiss our barcode scanner. So basically it will open a new screen with the camera, right, for scanning. That's why we want to dismiss it and return the value back inside our callback. And here there are few other methods as well which you can override if you want to. And this is for error. So in case if the scanner is not available, we can just throw the error callback. Then here I have creating my library. We have annotated with @main actor because this needs to be called on the main thread, and also annotated @Godot because we need to initialize this class from Godot side. Then we are extending ref counted. Even I don't know what this means. I think it is for memory management or something. Then here I have created one signal. So this will help us to send data from iOS side to Godot side. So whenever the QR code has been scanned or barcode has been scanned, then here we just create a variable of our scanner delegate class. Then here we create this data scanner view controller from vision kit. So here you can see recognize type or barcode. I think it scans QR code as well. So if I just do okay, the IntelliSense doesn't work properly, but trust me, this will scan QR code as well for you. Quality level is fast. Recognize multiple item I have kept as false. If you want multiple, you can keep it as true. Then is high frame rate tracking enabled false, is highlight enabled true. And then this is another variable which I have created just to check we have this data scanner view controller or not. You can use this as well in case the device you are using is not supporting this, then we can again throw an error. Then here we will have created this method, and we will call this inside the ready function of our GD script. So here we are first setting the delegate, then here we are listening for callbacks. So once we get a callback, so with the help of signal I'm sending some data. I'm using the same signal to return error data as well, but if you want, you can create a subnet signal. Then this is the scan method which we can call on a button click. And firstly I'm checking whether the scanner is available or not. If not, throw an error. Then here we get hold of our root view controller, and with the help of root view controller we just pass data scanner view controller and start scanning. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Next what I will do is I will just open this Godot folder which we have created entirely in VS Code. So this is my Godot folder, right? I will open, and it has this library. I'll just bring back my cheat sheet as well. So I'll tell you why I have done this. So first we'll have to go to this particular URL because we need to create a build.sh file. So I will just open it inside a new tab. Now again, a shout out to this guy Stefan because he has helped me to understand how to create iOS plugin with SwiftGodot. Now we need to create this build.sh file. Now the reason I have opened VS Code because it is very easy to create this file via VS Code. Some of you might say that okay, it's no big deal, we can do it via Xcode as well. If you are comfortable with Xcode, do that. It's just that I always mess things up. That's why I'm creating it via VS Code. So I'll just click on this icon, create a new file build.sh. Then I will just copy all this code and I will just paste it over here. Okay, I'll click on save. Now we have to make few changes to this particular file. So firstly, this should be your own library name. So my library name was just my library, so that's what I will add over here. Okay, and we also need to add one more thing, this dash skip macro validation and a backward slash. So this was causing an error for me at compile time. That's why Stefan told me to add this. Even I am not really good at this. So yeah, these are the two changes which you need to make. Once you do that, you just have to open your terminal, cd to your library. So I will just cd over here. Okay, I'll clear everything out, and then we first need to run this particular command. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Then we need to run this particular command. Now here I'm not planning to deploy my app to Apple App Store, so I will only generate the debug framework. But if you are planning to deploy it to Apple App Store, you need to also generate release, so you can just replace this debug word with release. But for now I'm happy with debug only, so I'll just run this command. Now this will take a lot of time to generate those. In the meantime, we can just open our Godot game engine. So at the time of recording this video, I'm using Godot 4.3.0, but if there is some higher version, you can use that as well. I don't think there will be any breaking changes as such. Then just click on this create button, browse to the Godot folder which we have created. I will select that. Then I will just give the name as my Godot project. You can name it whatever you feel like. I'll click on create and edit. Okay, let me check my cheat sheet. Okay, so firstly go to project, export, add, iOS, click on fix import. You need to enter your App Store team ID. I will enter mine later, but make sure you enter it now only. To get your App Store team ID, you can just go to this particular URL and it will guide you how to get your App Store team ID. Then we need to enter our app bundle identifier as well, so I will just enter it as com.my awesome app. Okay, then it typically a bundle identifier is com dot your company name dot your app name. Then I'll click on 2D scene. I will save it and I will run this as well. Select current so that my root scene is selected, because I always forget to do this. And here I will just create one button and I will create one label as well. Okay, I will just drag and drop this label a little bit over here, and this is our button. Again, I will just expand this button a little. Then I will set the font size for both of them. So theme override font size, I'll just change it to 40. Then I will just go to our button and add some text, scan. Okay, I'll click on save. Then I will attach one script to it. Then here I'll go back to my button. I will go to node. I will click on this pressed twice, connect this particular signal, and we also want this label, so I will just drag and drop it. Okay, now again I'll cheat a little bit. I'll go back to my practice project which I have created, and I will copy some code and then I'll explain it to you. Where is it? Yeah, this one. Okay, so firstly I'll just copy this particular variable, so this will actually hold the instance of our library. So I have just created this variable. Then inside ready we just initialize it something like this, so I'll just copy this, and inside ready I'll just paste it like this. So here you can see we just check whether this library is present or not. Again, this should be your own library name as well as over here. If not, we just instantiate it. And if you remember, we had this initlib method which I'm calling inside ready, and here we are connecting a signal as well. Once the signal is called, this method gets called automatically, and whatever, in case if there is any error, we display it inside our label. In case we scanned a QR code or barcode, we also display it inside our label. So that error is gone, and on press of button we just need to call our scan method. So again I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Okay, so this is done. The next step is again I'll just close this, then I'll close this as well. So next step is inside your Godot project we have to create a bin folder. So here you can see I'll just create it from VS Code. Feel free to use Godot game engine as well. So I'll just create a bin folder, and inside that we have to create a file called whatever is your library name .gd extension. So in my case it is my library.gd extension. Now we need to paste some code over here. So I'll just copy this particular bit of code and paste it. Now again this should be your own library name, and like I mentioned, I'm only generating it for debug mode. That's why I'm using iOS.debug over here as well as over here. But if you're generating release, you have to write iOS.release over here as well as over here. Now the reason I created this particular file from VS Code, because I'm not able to open this file from Godot game engine. So if I go to bin folder, here you can see trying to click on it but it's not opening for me. I don't know why. Maybe there is some workaround with this, but anyways, here you can see now our library is also created. So what I can do is I will just go to my Godot folder. I will go to library, go to bin, go to iOS, copy these two framework folders, go back to your Godot game, go to bin and paste it over here. Make sure you save it every single time. Okay, so the next thing which we can do is just click on project, export. We can you can before you export it, again I'll just go back to my Godot folder, and here I'll just create one folder called iOS, because after exporting it will create a lot of files. So I'm just creating one parent folder. I'll click on export project. I will go to our iOS folder and I'll click on save. Now the exporting will take little bit of time, so be patient. Once the export is done, I'll come back again. Okay, so as you can see, my export was successful. Now one more thing which I want to point out is, given that we will be scanning it, the iOS device will require camera permission, and if I scroll down, uh, at least for, okay, I'm not sure where these permissions are. Anyways, we'll just go to our iOS project. I'll just double click on this .xcode proj file. It will automatically open it in Xcode. Then if you see the supporting files, if you go to this, click on this, and here you can see, I remember it already having the camera permission. So here you can see it already have the camera permission for me. If it is not present for you, make sure you add this camera permission inside this info.plist file, and sorry, and here you need to specify why you need the permission. So maybe you can write it in a proper way to scan QR code and a barcode. This is also important, otherwise your app might get rejected from the Apple App Store. I'll just run my application. Also make sure you run your application on real device. It will not work on a simulator. Okay, so let's just wait for this to finish. Okay, I will mirror my device as well, my real device. Okay, so as you can see, here is my mirror. Okay, so my app is just stuck over here. I don't know why. So what I'll do, okay, I got a timeout. I'll just click on OK and I'll rerun my application again. This happens to me every single time when I run my app for the very first time. Now what I can do is, here I have one QR code open and here I have some barcode open as well. So I'll just drag and drop this. Okay, and here is my real device as well, just so that I can show you both things. Just move, size it a little bit. Let's just wait for this to boot up, because we are running the debug mode. It always takes time to load up. Maybe you can try running it in release mode. So I think let's just wait. Is it working? Yeah, it is working. Okay, so here you can see this is the output. Now I will just click on the scan button. It is asking me for camera permission. I'll click on allow, and I will just move it in front of the barcode. Okay, there is, I think, a little bit of reflection. Let me adjust this. Okay, so here you can see it was able to scan this particular barcode as well. Now let's see for QR code. So here I have one QR code. I will click on the scan button again, and here I'll just move it in front of the QR code, and here you can see I was able to scan the QR code as well. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.